Okay, so we're back once again in Legacy Clickers, and we have another new update to the game today. This isn't officially update 2, however I still think it's quite a big update to the game as it brings in quite a lot of new things. So I'm just going to go quickly over the update log and then we'll get into showing them off. So obviously the main thing, as you can see on the right hand side of the screen, is we have a new egg, the 50k egg, which does celebrate 50,000 visits to the game. We have 3 brand new codes that I will be putting in the comment section down below. They have spiced up the titles, as you can already see above my head, and they do usual bug fixes. They have changed the boost system up, so I'll show that off as well, and they have added more pet inventory upgrades in the upgrade shop. So let's just get straight into it. So as you can see above my head, they have slightly changed up the titles and how they look. So if we come back into the titles in the rebirth section, they have slightly better colours and the stroke around the outside is slightly thicker, and some of the better ones are like the rebirth dominator, as you can see here, and I believe they also have changed up some of the amounts that you need to get for these. I believe this was at one point let's try and click on it. The rebirth dominator one was around 100,000, but they have now changed it up to 10 million. And it also does have a nice gradient, as you can see, from a darker red to a more lighter red. And that is the same for these ones down here too. As you can see, Hatching King, it goes from an orange to a more of a yellowy colour. And the 24/7 Hatcher is a very nice kind of blue, purple and lighter blue. So very, very cool indeed. But I am obviously using the Hatching King because I think it suits my character very, very well. And another other thing is in the upgrade shop over here, there are more inventory storage upgrades to do now. So there are 10 more, which is another 50 more inventory slots, I believe. So right now you can get up to 250. That is without game passes, obviously. And the boost system, sorry, I had to check the update log again. The boost system, if you come down to this little shop here, which is the 5th icon, as you can see, instead of just having to buy boosts and then just kind of using them, instead you can choose when to use your boosts, and each one is worth 45 minutes. So obviously you can buy the boost for 79 Robux each, or you can use them in codes. And instead of them just being used straight away, they will basically kind of store it in here. And when you press use, obviously it will use one, and each one is worth 45 minutes. The exact same for the clicks boost. And yeah, let's just get into the main bit, which is obviously the 50k egg. So again, in the same spot as where it was with the fall egg, and it costs a little bit more though. It is 3.5 billion clicks. So obviously the new players can't quite get it so easily, but obviously once you can get 3.5 billion clicks, make sure you buy this egg because it is very, very overpowered. So let's just get straight into it. So I'm actually going to have to turn off all of these, if it will let me. There we go, and I've just turned it back on, whoops. It is my lag. My lag is very, very bad at the moment. It's my internet, not the game, so don't worry about that. But let's just get straight into it. So obviously I still have the quadruple hatch. But as you can see, these pets are very, very cool looking indeed. And we even got a shiny one there. So yeah, let's just kind of show some of these off. So I do already have some legendaries. But let me just quickly unequip all of these pets. So down here we have the 50k Doggy. This is the easiest one, which is a 40% chance, or I don't even know what it's a 40% chance. This does 32.5 clicks, 30.5 crystals, and 100 mushrooms, which is actually very, very good. Moving on, we have the 50k Buddy. This does 35 clicks, 28.5 crystals, and 105 mushrooms. So the clicks and the mushrooms are better than the Doggy, however the crystals are a little bit lower. So if you are looking for crystals, make sure you go for the Doggy. If you're looking just for clicks and mushrooms, make sure you go for the 50k Buddy. Moving on, and I'm not too sure which one is better, whether I think I would just move on to the 50k Ghost because I somehow managed to get a shiny spiral instead of a normal one. But we have the 50k Ghost. This does 42.5 clicks, 35 crystals, and 130 mushrooms. So again, very, very good on the mushrooms. Moving on to the 50k spiral. So this one is actually the easier one to get and the lower one to get rather than the 50k ghost. But obviously the normal version would do 40 clicks. It would do, if I can do my maths correctly, 37.5 crystals and 125 mushrooms. Then we have the 50k hex. This one does 60 clicks, 55 crystals and 150 mushrooms. And then we have some legendaries. So I'm not too sure if I can remember the chance. I believe this is the 50k master, which is the easiest one. I believe the chance of this is 1 in 2.5 thousand. So pretty hard, but obviously once you start hatching them, you will hatch quite a lot. But this does a whopping 125 clicks, 115 crystals and 200 mushrooms, which is very similar to the Spore Witch. However, it does a lot more mushrooms, double the mushrooms. So it's basically just better to have this over the Spore Witch Doctor. And we do have a shiny version to show off. Obviously this does 250 clicks, 230 crystals and 400 mushrooms, which I believe actually does beat out the Spore Diablo, which is actually very, very overpowered. And obviously it is getting very close in terms of clicks to the first Starlight, which is the Domini Insectum. But then we can have a look at the 50k Bloom, which is the harder legendary. This is 1 in, I think it's 6.25 thousand, somewhere around that kind of mark. So it is a lot more difficult to get this, and as you can see, I've been grinding this since it's come out and I still don't have a shiny one yet, so it's been quite a while. But this has 200 clicks, 190 crystals and 225 mushrooms. And obviously the shiny version does actually beat out the Domini Insectum, with it doing 400 clicks. I think it's 380 crystals, and in terms of the mushrooms, 450. It is so overpowered, and I believe it will more or less be close to beating out the Spore Diablo. So yeah, very, very overpowered indeed. And unfortunately, I have not hatched the Starlight out of this yet. Hopefully we can get it soon. I'm just going to quickly put on my auto delete. But yeah, unfortunately we've not hatched the Starlight yet. I know a couple of people have, and I do know the stats. So the stats on it are, well, actually no, we'll do the chance first. So the chance of it is 1 in 1 million. So it is the new hardest Starlight in the game, which is probably why I've not actually hatched it yet. But because it is incredibly, incredibly difficult to get. But let me just quickly go to the Starlight and see if I can find it somewhere and show off the stats. So yeah, here we go. So it is a 1 in 1 million chance of getting it, so it's very rare. But it obviously is the new strongest pet in the game. 950 clicks, 800 crystals and 650 mushrooms. And obviously going into the shiny version, it is very overpowered. 1,900 clicks, 1,600 crystals and 1,300 mushrooms. So the shiny version obviously way stronger than anything else in the game, and the normal version still obviously the strongest pet in the game. So yeah, it'll be very nice to get my hand on one of these. It will definitely help me with rebirths and things like that. And I believe if we go over to the leaderboards right now, I'm not actually too far behind third place, but obviously if they're rebirthing and I'm rebirthing, it's going to be quite hard to catch up. However, I have managed to get onto third place on eggs. As you can see, we are currently 15,000 eggs above fourth place, but we are quite far behind second place, nearly 30,000 eggs. So I'm definitely going to have to keep hatching as much as I can. And obviously I have run out of my luck boost and my click boost. So yeah, it's going to be very difficult to stay on the third place, but hopefully we can. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.